Brit Hume is Fox's senior political analyst. And no, it's not a chronological thing. As he often says, it's a measure of wisdom. So we're happy to have him join us tonight with his reaction. Brit, this is the Democratic Party's top legislative goal. I mean, I don't think anything is even close. Why are they so focused on this so-called voting rights?
Well, I think first of all, it pleases the base, and Biden has been kind of a slave to the left-wing base of his party since he became president. And it's also something that, if enacted, would enshrine in law the much loosened voter regulations that prevailed during the pandemic election year of 2020.
Right.
And it would make it easier for people to vote, easier for people who don't particularly want to vote, or easier to get them to vote. It would also interfere with ballot security measures such as voter ID and other such measures, which are widely supported by the American public. So this, I think, you look at it piece by piece. It's not really a set of very popular measures, but it plays well with the base. Biden wants to do it. He wants, Tucker, I think to see this, we need to drill down a little bit. How did this happen? How did Joe Biden get himself into this predicament?
Yes, I think that all the time. He was pretty moderate, I always thought.
After Election Day in 2020, he was on his way to being president of the United States with the House only narrowly in his party's control and the Senate in Republican control. There were two races in Georgia that were the Republicans to lose, and thanks to a considerable extent to his administrations, the Republicans did lose them.
Yeah.
And suddenly, the Democrats had, by the narrowest of possible margins, control of the Senate. And that's what got visions of historic sugar plums dancing in Joe Biden's head. And so this guy that was on his way to having to deal with the Republican Senate and the kind of moderate, center-left politics that he'd practiced for most of his career went out the window in favor of this agenda that he's been embarked on ever since. It hasn't worked well. He's now widely unpopular. His party is unpopular. They're looking like they're going to have staggering losses, potentially staggering losses in the midterms. And he's out doing this. He doesn't seem to know how to sort of change course. It may be too late for him.
So I think it's such a smart observation. It was getting that much power, or the appearance of that much power, that wrecked him.
That little power that he thought was, could be converted into some kind of historic swing. I think he's always felt that, that he was under the shadow of the great Barack Obama.
Yes.
And, I think there's reason to believe Barack Obama didn't take him seriously. Obama's famously quoted as saying, you should never underestimate the ability of Joe to F things up.
Yeah.
Well, Afghanistan and you go down the list. Things are pretty effed up in this particular administration. And, he's got inflation running out of control and so on. And he seems at sea, and what he continues to do is to try to press forward with this agenda, and most of his party seem willing to go along with it, although there are a few holdouts, and in this tightly divided Congress, it only takes a few to block his agenda.
Fascinating. Really smart. Brit Hume, thank you.
You bet.
Well, Tony Fauci testified on Capitol Hill today, and he would not answer the most basic questions posed